Looking your best doesn't just happen. It takes effort.
My skin looks radiant. Perfect.
मेरी आंखों पे dark circles? No chance.
Having dazzling white teeth is an absolute must.
Clinical skin treatments to look younger.
Lines, wrinkles, patchy skin.
फेयरनेस ट्रीटमेंट जैसा निखार
Clean, सुरक्षित और रंगत निखारे.
भीतर से निखारे
Get that flawless glow.
Mirror shine, cashmere touch.
For 3 times shinier hair.
2 गुना ज्यादा गोरापन पाओगे
Results in just 15 minutes. Results in just 7 days.
5 problems, 1 solution.
In 1 week.
So you're worth it.
You're worth it.
We're worth it.
You're worth it.
Because you're worth it.
Do I think there is a special appearance, particularly with regard to women? Absolutely. It's their bodies, their faces that are being put to a daily test. They have good hair days, bad hair days. They worry about their makeup. They worry about how others look at them. They worry about their appearance at all times.
While an increasing stress on women's appearance was developed with the modernization of communication by the early 20th century, an awareness regarding this stress was realized much later. In 1991, author Naomi Wolf was one of the first to document this stress as the beauty myth, which she believed was nothing more than airbrushed images of perfect bodies of women found everywhere, in magazines, newspapers, and the television, which together create the notion of an ideal body type, a standardized frame which everyone is expected to fit into. I think that's the biggest tragedy, that we've kind of standardized beauty. In a country, in a world where there's so much of diversity, and each one of us looks different and unique, instead of celebrating that uniqueness, we have kind of said, this is how you ought to be looking. Whether it is, when Aishwarya Rai became Miss Universe, and it sort of said, okay, this is what beauty is, or a Barbie doll, it kind of tells you this is how you should be.
Where do we derive the standards of appearance that we all aspire to? I think the obvious answer is, ever since the First or Second World War, it's been the domination of Europe and America, the blonde, white, Barbie type, wasp-waisted, but with a full bottom and hips and a large bosom, but otherwise thin in all respects, with very long legs and light-coloured hair. I don't think there can be any doubt that in general that is the image of the ideal woman that is sold around the world. Probably because the largest consumer society for the last 60 or 70 years has been the US, so they set the agenda for what is consumed.
Now in a globalized world where the influences are from all over, the products are from all over, we are seen as a big market, a big middle class market, where many international brands are having a field day because they can send their products here, and so it's that standardization is not just an Indian standardization but a global standardization.
I would agree that there is a standard of idealistic beauty, and I'm not sure it's the right standard. And somewhere I think the Femina Miss India contest was responsible for this, because we did say, we were looking at the international arena and everybody had to wear swimsuits, so we didn't want any extra flab, so we ensured the contestants were slim. They were not the Indian figures as they used to be earlier. So that was something, and when we won, when we started winning, when Sushmita won and Aishwarya won and Diana won, and Lara won, they were all models. So the whole idea that slim is beautiful, skinny is good, started filtering into the consciousness of the younger generation. And I think it is an influence that works very insidiously. It tells you you're fat, you're ugly, which you may not be.
Fashion and beauty is such a big quotient of our business, and the minute we try and put a woman who is an ordinary woman or who just conform to the norms of the society, those are the issues which don't sell well. It's only when you have these fabulous looking women dressed very well, showing cleavage, beautifully photoshopped, hair in place, makeup in place, that's what works. That's what the world wants to buy.
And I remember I had to fight, and finally once I put Carol Gracious on the cover. She was my first dark model on the cover, and everybody said it won't sell.
When it comes to photo shoots, they are not in every time, they don't look in a perfect shape. So maybe the eyebrows are not perfect, or the hair are not put straight. So the removing the hair strands, maybe the jawline, or the way the dress looks, it's important, to airbrush them, to liquefy and make their body look in a perfect shape.
I don't think anyone in the magazine is actually shaped that way, including me. Like, there are times where I look at my body, I'm like, wow, I look really like full on top. But like, it's all, most of the time it's a little bit of Photoshop. Like for models, not so much, but I think actresses, it's a big deal. Like they run the country, they run the media.
The editors might be against it, we might be against it, but it's reached a stage where if there is a picture, say of an Aishwarya Rai going on a cover of a magazine, she wants to approve it before it goes into print. She doesn't want a single line on her face showing. She doesn't want a single crease showing, even though she may be turning 40. So for paid content like advertising, you're absolutely right. Everybody looks perfect. They're made to look perfect. They're paid to look perfect. It most certainly impacts the psyche of anyone when you see such perfection. That's when you say, what's wrong with me? Why am I not like this? Am I eating too much? Am I not exercising enough? Everybody out there looks so good, and that's exactly what I want to look like.
Is beauty a prescribed form of social behavior for us? It seems like it, no? You're being constantly told that this is beautiful and this is not beautiful. So even though you do not, your socialization, your initial socialization has not resulted in you associating certain features or certain types of body with beauty, or a certain type of appearance as beautiful. Today, I think you're questioning that. You're questioning whether, maybe I don't know what is beautiful. Maybe I don't know enough. Maybe I'm ill-informed.
लो माँ, ढेर सारा लेप लगा लिया. आप खुश? जीजी, एक फोटो खींच दो. ज़ूम पिटवानी है. कमाल करती हो माँ. बाऊजी जीजी की फोटो दिल्ली तक भेज सकते हैं, और मैं अपनी फोटो ज़ू तक भी नहीं भेज सकती.
I think it's just in our country that Indian women are made to feel dark and I don't know how to put it, not attractive if you're not fair. I seriously don't get the concept of like being fair.
She has a flawless skin and a proper body shape. That's more important. That's kind of a fake thing that people want to see right now as a model, rather than say for example have a girl, a model which has a proper IQ and become a Miss India and represent India on a higher level.
There is a certain expectation to be turned out perfectly every time you step out. I think that's extremely unfair. I think everyone wants to be presentable, but I think the way that presentability gets defined is very restrictive and it's suffocating.
If you're not looking good, you can't go anywhere. You can't can't wear good clothes, and if you're not wearing good clothes, even though you have good knowledge, your first impression is very bad.
That inherent notion that women have to serve and women have to, sort of be objectified to please the man or to do all this for the male gaze, so to say. It's definitely rooted in patriarchy, and that's why all these issues are very deeply interlinked, and that happens in cinema as well. So while we are talking about, women are now, for instance, there's this big debate. The women are exposing themselves. After all, it's their body and they have a right over it, and they should be allowed to do what they like. And while that is true, we also have to see whom are we pandering to, who's calling the shots, whose male gaze are we satisfying, whether it's the audience or the director or the producer. So is it really about free will and choice, or is it a notional choice and actually we are only doing what we are supposed to be or meant to be doing for them?
I don't know whether the media can be blamed in isolation. It is also it's consumerism, it's media, it's it's popular culture.
वहाँ देख तेरा हीरो खड़ा है, पर उसका ध्यान तो मुझ पर पड़ा है।
अरे तू ऐसा क्यों कह रही है? क्या है तेरे पास जो मुझ में नहीं है?
Fair and lovely है मेरे पास।
The consumerist culture feeds and the media feeds off. See, what you have to understand is that the media doesn't have a mind of its own. The media does not create. Today, having gone through all the experiences I have, I at least know that, this is what I that this is what I grew up with, and this is what I'm now being told. I know there is a difference, and while I might have tried to bridge that difference at some point in time, today I have the maturity not to try. But I think today's youth and the children that are going to grow up into teenagers and adolescents soon, they're going to grow up with a lot of confusion. Your looks seem to be the main focus of your identity. It almost seems to be the fulcrum of your identity, which shouldn't be the case.
Today, the world has totally transformed into the screen world, where the TV has become a major tool as an entertainment for children. So, children tend to watch so much of television and so much of internet uses there that whatever they see over there influences their lives. So often, we do meet children who are darker complexioned, and when they come, they have lower self-esteem. And especially children who are on the fatter side, they are the ones who are often teased. So the standard of beauty is that they have to be beautiful, fair, and thin.
Every article of mine, especially in the beginning, would always start with dark and dusky, earthy. They felt the need to always qualify my skin color, to almost say that she's an actor despite being dark.
Media is another thing of which causes people to have lower self-esteem. You see this Reed thin body over there who's got it all. She's got a husband, she's got beautiful children, she's got a beautiful home, she travels in a Mercedes, and then you look at yourself and you feel, oh my God, I'm fat, blah, blah, blah. And that is definitely going to pull down the woman's self-esteem.
Self-esteem, what you're talking, you can see that in the actress. The actors who are very fit, they can anytime wear the swimming costume. They can wear whatever they want. They can show the stomach anytime because they know they are very well. They are very good in looking.
If I talk to even a 3 or a 4-year-old, they are very aware that they don't want to be fat. And earlier, the toys, even when they've played with stuffed toys, they enjoyed doing that. But today they like decorating, or they like beautifying their Barbie dolls more. They want to make them look significantly gorgeous, because they actually portray themselves into, or rather they project themselves into the Barbie doll.
When I was going to New York and I was doing my first season there, I was under stress with the agency. And they said, you have to lose your weight and you have to lose your hip. I was depressed, I got upset. My body shrunk, but it was also a feeling of unhappiness, And I don't think as women, you should feel like that or be suppressed by portraying like, oh, you have to be so skinny.
I just had that example yesterday where I saw the wife and I had seen the husband earlier. And the wife was telling me that the husband had been consistently telling her that I can't go to a nightclub with you, I can't go to a disco with you because you are overweight. One of the things that we often do when we have kids, when I see adolescents with anorexia, then I tell them to draw themselves, okay? And every time you make them draw themselves, they will draw themselves 3 or 4 times more than what they are. So that is their body image disturbance.
When we see models who are so Photoshop, people generally use a lot of products and they don't get that kind of result. So they tend to do a lot of plastic surgery for their face, for their other body parts.
every surgery has a different category of, if some would be between the younger age group. In the younger age group, rhinoplasties, breast implants, liposuctions would be common surgeries. And in the middle age group, post-delivery, post-pregnancy, tummy tucks, mummy makeovers, breast upliftment, breast reduction, tightening, vaginal tightening. Some people are pretty much addicted to surgery, They would come and ask me for a new surgery every 3 months, and you got to put a stop to it. I have done 9 surgeries or 10 surgeries in some of the patients, okay? And every time, without any names taken, she felt that every time she got rejected for a TV role or a movie, she thought that this is the reason.
If I want my nose to be changed, the surgeon needs to be sure that I do not have a body dysmorphic disorder, which I talked about earlier. That I don't have a problem with, that I feel that my nose is not the way it should be, because then I would get a surgery done, and then I would again feel that no, it's not exactly the way I want to, so I would want a second surgery, I would want a third surgery.
The moment you look in the mirror and you see that you need something which bothers you on a daily basis or very often, and you feel it requires a change, it's probably the time to go and visit a cosmetic surgeon. Because psychologically, if this thing affects you over a number of days, a number of months or years, means you are kind of disturbed by this aspect about your body, for whatever it is. And then you are probably ready for cosmetic surgery. It's a simple thing. Everybody wants to look better.
It's just as women, we're made to feel insecure about ourselves. So it's just, that thought is, in my field for sure, has gone through my head. I'm not going to lie about it. Because as a model, you are like small chested and you are skinny, and you always think like, what if I had big boobs? Or what if I did a lip job? If you see a friend who's got like an amazing lip job, then you're just like, wow, what if I try it out? It crosses my head most of the time. I'm not going to lie about that.
People who have actually told me, oh, you've got such a beautiful face, why don't you lose weight? And I'm like, why can't you just stop with, you've got such a beautiful face? I'm happy with my body. What is your problem? I've literally had to fight a battle. I've gone through a lot of times when I felt like, forget it, maybe I should just stick to the, maybe I should just adhere, maybe I should just toe the line. Having said that, all of us want to be that prototype. We are fighting individuality in every way. There is a homogenization. I don't know why we've begun to breed cattle instead of human beings.